cut princess that bodies with me. I'll be using my half length because this is a dress. I'm working on a dress. So I'm using the half length. Okay. This is my chest line. I got this by dividing my bust measurement by 4 plus 1.5. This is my breast point. This is my under bust. Now, after getting all these measurements, this is I divided my nipple to nipple into two. That's I have 3.5. My nipple to nipple is 7. So I mark it all the way to my breast point, okay? And I know we should know how we got this armor. I came in by half an inch at the midpoint here, then I cut. Now to the business of today. At this center here, I'm going to be marking 0.75 inward, 0.75, because the bust of the person is 44. That is why I'm using 0.75. But if you are working with somebody with like bust 36, you can use half inch for this place. So I'm going to be marking this from my under bust to my half length. If you are working with a full scale body, this applies to it also. Okay. So if you are working with a full scale body, you just have to connect it to like 4 inches away from your normal top length. Okay, so after doing this, I'm going to connect it to my breast point here. I can use curve ruler, I can use straight ruler to do that. I'll connect it to my breast point. After connecting it to my breast point, I will come back to my armhole area here. I want to get the midpoint of the armhole area. This is 7.5, so midpoint should be around here, 3.75. So I'm going to connect this point to that midpoint in order to create our princess dart. Okay. So after doing that, I'll come back to my under bust here. I'm going to mark 1.75. Yes, that's 1 3/4. I'm marking 1.75. The reason why I'm marking 1.7 is because the person is on the bigger side. If it's a smaller size, you can use 1.5 for it. Okay. So this is the waist tightening. This is called the waist tightening. So I'm going to connect this to this breast point now using curve ruler. So this place is very important. You have to make sure your curve ruler is placed well in order to get the kind of shape you want. The way you place your curve ruler will determine the outcome of your dress after joining. Okay, so I've placed my curve ruler now. Please use pencil to draft. I'm using this marker so that you can see what I'm doing, because marker usually give us thick lines, so pencil will give you the accurate line. So this is what we have now. The next thing is to come to this arm area. I want to do arm tightening here. So in order to in order to avoid gaping at the armhole, so I have to do armhole tightening. So I'm going to place my tape rule like this at this line that I marked here. At this line, I'll place my tape rule. I'll mark 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Okay, so I'll connect this 1 inch down to my breast point, and I'll connect this 1 inch up to my breast point. Let's do that. Okay, this is what we have now. So we'll be cutting this place out. We are not going to use it again. I will be cutting this place out also. So you can see that I elongated this other line, this line here. You can see that I elongated it. The reason why I elongated is because I want to mark one. That's the least. You after drawing your line like this, this is our armhole area, not this line. This is not the line. This is our armhole area. So on this one here, on this line that is downward, measure 1 inch towards outside, just as if you are extending it. You want to extend it. That's the least. You can measure that least 1 inch. You can do 1.5. For me, I like to do 1.5. After joining, if there's excess, I will cut it out. The reason why you have to add this 1 inch is because by the time you want to join it back, this place is going to be shorter. This side here is going to be shorter, so it's not going to meet up with this center. Okay, so but if you add your 1 inch to it, it's going to meet up. That is why we are doing that. Now let's practicalize it here. Let's measure from this armhole to this place, then measure from this place to this place. This is the line for the second part. Now let's measure. For this one now, I have 4.1. Can you see? And this one I have 6. Okay, can you see the difference? If I add 1.5 to this now, it's going to make up. Even if it's not going to make up to, like, even if it's not, uh, so by the time I add 1.5 to this place, it's going to meet up. Even if it's not going to meet up, it's going to just mean like a little. It might not even be up to half an inch. So that is why you have to do that. So I'm going to mark my 1.5 now, like this. Then I'll connect it to my armhole back. Just look at what I'm doing. Why you want to connect it? You are not going to connect it like this. Like the 1.5, we take shape all the way. No, connect it in such a way that it's going to be tinier at the down part here. Okay, something like this. Can you see this? You can see that what we have here, you can see that what we have here is bigger than what we have here. So connect it in a way that what we are going to have here is going to be small. So by the time you join everything together, you can still shape your arm. So that's just it. So this is the line I'll cut out now. This line, I'm not cutting this out. But before I cut out, you can see that we've not drafted our neckline. I didn't do that because this is going to be, it's going to have an asymmetric neckline. That is, one part of the neckline is going to look like off shoulder, while the second one is going to have a shoulder. So that was why I folded my paper into two like this. Can you see? But assuming it's not asymmetric neckline, you can just cut half paper. You don't need to fold your paper in order not to waste your paper. So my neck width is 3.5. I'm going to be coming down by, let me say, 4. I want to come down by 4. So I'll connect it together. So I want to create my asymmetric neckline now. Okay, so I'll connect it together. After connecting it together, I want to open it to this side. Oh. So after drafting, the next thing you just do is to add your horizontal measurement. That is your bust, waist, under bust measurement. If your under bust measurement is different from your arc length measurement, so just do that. So you are going to be dividing it by 4, or your measurement divided by 4. And when you get, now this is my bust divided by 4, that's 11. My bust is 44. Okay, but if this lines here, this that you're cutting out, if it crosses your bust, because there are some that crosses the bust, it depends on the side. So you have to add whatever you have here back to your bust. Hope that is clear. Now we come to the under bust and waist. For me, the under bust and the waist of this person is the same thing. That's 37. So I'm going to so by the time I divide my 37 by 4, whatever I'm getting, I'm going to be adding this 2 and 3/4 inch that we have here. Can you see? I'm going to be adding it to it. So 37 divided by 4 is 9. Is 9 1/4. Okay, 7 divided by 4 is 9 1/4. So by the time I add 2.3 2.75 to it, I'm going to be having 11 and a half. That is 9 1/4 plus 2.75. I'm going to be having 11 and a half. So I'll just mark my 11 and a half here now. So you will discover that the bust measurement is smaller than the waist measurement. That is how the shape of a princess that usually come out after drafting most times. Yes, most times. So just follow your measurement, don't bother about the shape. In fact, this one is still better. There are some that the difference between the bust measurement and the waist measurement after drafting says that is usually up to 1 inch, but this one is just half an inch. So just connect wherever your measurement stops, just connect. By the time you cut out your data, you join back, you are going to have a very nice shape. Okay, symmetric neckline, you can use two methods. You can decide to open up your pattern like this, but for my pattern, I did not mark the other part. Okay, so you can decide to open up your pattern like this. By the time you open up your pattern, the only place you need here is the neckline. So I'm going to mark my neck width, which is 3.5. I'll mark it. and my neck depth, which is 4. Then I'll create the neckline for the second part of the pattern. So I'm trying to create the neckline for the second part of the pattern here. Okay, now since you have this, you are now going to determine where you want your off shoulder to start from. Okay, so I'll measure. I want my off shoulder to be like 5. Yeah, so I'll mark that place. That is where I want my off shoulder to start from. I'll mark it. So by the time I mark it, I'm just going to connect this 3.5. I'm going to connect it to it. Just connect. That's all. Connect it to it, and you can decide to think this neck width is small, so I want to expand my neck width a bit. I want to expand it by half an inch. So I'll just cut out this place now. I'll cut it out. And you know that we've already add 1.5 to this place. This point that I cut now, this is the 1.5 point. So we are still on track. So I'll just cut out this place like this now. And we are good to go. I'll go ahead and fold it back in order to cut out my princess dart. And you can also join your fabric first before cutting. It's just the same way. It's the same way of cutting. You can join your fabric first before cutting. Okay, so I will cut out now. Can you see? Then I'll cut out the second part. But when you are cutting this, please be careful so that you will not lose your pattern. You know that we have two sides there now. So you might need to hold it down with pin. Yeah. So this is what we have. But if you are not doing asymmetric neckline, just cut out your pattern and you are good to go. Now look at this. I want to place the points together. This is my chest.
If you have watched this video to this point, kindly subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell so that you can know when we drop new tutorials, like so that YouTube can recommend our tutorials to a lot of people. So you go ahead and add your allowance accordingly. And for the center piece, if you are working with asymmetric leg line, you are going to open it up like so while cutting, then you add your allowance. But if you are not working with asymmetric leg line, you can fold your fabric, then you cut out while you add your allowance. So and you, after cutting it out, you go ahead and add your interfacing, then you cut out your bra foam that you are going to be using to pad it. For the bra foam, you make sure that you do not cut it to the, you can see what I'm doing, just mark it like so, then you cut it out. And for the centerpiece also, cut it along the for the centerpiece, cut the bra foam along the chest line. Bye for now. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.